Hello, friends. I'm sure you've heard many stories which seemed simply incredible and very hard to believe, even though they did actually happen. That's the kind of story I'm going to tell you today. It's about Harrison Okene, a cook on a ship who fought for his life for 62 hours, trapped without food and water in a sunken ship at a depth of 30 meters. Confined in complete darkness, he had to listen to the crunching sounds of fish eating the bodies of the dead crew members and pray to God for a miracle. Harrison Okene was a cook on a tugboat. When the ship sank, he survived and spent 3 days in an inverted tug at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. At the end of the third day, Okene suddenly saw lights in the water. It was a diver. Rescue seemed so close and so real, but unfortunately, it wasn't that simple. Okene was the only one who managed to survive from a crew of 12 when the tugboat turned over and sank. Survivor's guilt is still keeping him awake at night. The young man was only 29 years old, and he now carries the heavy burden of guilt for the fact that the rest of the crew had died, but he didn't. The Jascon 4 tugboat capsized and quickly sank to the bottom of the ocean. To a depth of about 30 meters. The cook survived the 3 days on just one bottle of Coke. He found 2 flashlights that went out in less than a day. Being completely alone in pitch-black darkness, he almost lost all hope of salvation. Feeling completely hopeless, Okene prayed to God for a miracle, seeing it as his only chance of survival. When he suddenly heard the noise of another boat, a hammering on the side of the tug, and a little later saw the lights and the diver, joy and hope filled his exhausted mind. His prayers had been answered. But then, something terrible happened. The lights suddenly disappeared. Full of fear and timid hope, Okene started frantically trying to swim in pitch-dark waters through the sunken boat in order to catch up with the diver. Harrison couldn't find the diver, and getting ready to say goodbye to his life, he swam back to the cabin with his precious but shrinking air pocket. The young man could hardly catch his breath. He was so desperate, he wanted to cry. The rescue seemed so close, yet so unattainable. Okene knew that it must have been a diver, but he was at the wrong end of the boat. Rescuers from the Dutch company DCN Diving were only looking for bodies. No one thought there were any survivors. Before they stumbled upon Okene, they had already managed to find 4 bodies. When the diver returned, Harrison had to attempt swimming again to get him. However, the young man couldn't see the direction in which he needed to move. But a miracle happened. Okene caught up with the diver and touched him on the shoulder from behind. The man got scared and screamed into the microphone, "Corpse! Corpse! A corpse!" He didn't notice Harrison at first. Okene pulled the rescuer by the hand, and he finally realized that there was a miraculously surviving man in front of him, so he immediately reported to the ship, "He's alive." It all seemed surreal. Okene gestured for the diver to follow him into his life-saving air pocket. The cook later said, "I knew that when he gave me water, he was observing me very carefully to see if I was really human, because he was clearly very afraid." The diver first used hot water to warm Okene, then he put an oxygen mask on him. After being rescued from the sunken boat, Harrison was placed in a decompression chamber for 60 hours. Only then was he able to safely return to the surface. The man still has nightmares, and he vows never to return to the sea again. He even got a new job already. He continues to work as a cook, but this time on land. Friends, that's all for today. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends, and we'll see you next time.